One of the most destructive forces of all in business is the wasting of time. Time, if you think about it, is the most valuable asset that you have. Money can be regained. Lots of things that you can lose can be rebought. But time, it goes in one direction and it's gone forever. So what I want to talk to you about are the two main wasters of time for people when they're opening and running an agency. And this is particularly true for those who are new to this industry. Those who gain experience learn and know better, usually. And that is, number one, time leeches. Okay, time leeches. And I know it's, kind of an ugly term, leech. I don't really like blood-sucking worms, but these are blood-sucking people. Okay, these are individuals that you're going to encounter, and they're not malicious. They're not doing it because they're mean-spirited. They're not doing it because they like to do something harmful to a business. These are individuals, either prospects or clients, many times clients, many more times than you think, that are either bored or lazy, usually. Okay, they're either bored in the sense that they just want to, for whatever reason, hit your support department. These are the folks that will hit your support department over and over and over again, continually eating up time. These are the people that will call you and leave 20 voicemails in a day on a $300 website. These are the people that will write you essay-long emails and get upset when you don't respond in 1 hour. These are the type of people that will waste huge time. And what's important is not to be able to, always see them coming, because you can't. What's important is to know how to diplomatically correct the situation or extricate yourself from the situation if you have to. Because what happens a lot of the time, I've seen this happen again and again, it's even happened to me, is you'll wind up with somebody who's just sapping your time. Every day they're emailing. It just won't terminate. They're calling. And they think it's normal. They think it's fine, to eat up 10 hours a week of your time or something like that. All right. What you have to learn to do is to call the person up and just be honest. Say, sir, ma'am, you are spending a lot of time, I notice, hitting the support department here. There's everybody else, and then there's you. And you're eating so much time for me that I'm going to have to let you go as a client. Because either we're going to have to correct this and get this down to a reasonable level, or I'm going to have to let you go. Because we simply don't have the resources to spend on you. That's how I usually handle it. Just tell them very straightforwardly, that's the situation. Okay, what are they going to come back with to that? Are they going to get angry? It's an honest statement. Most people who are not malicious and they didn't know they were doing anything wrong will understand and curtail themselves. Some people will get angry, right? Certain people. And guess what? If they get angry, give them a refund and get rid of them. It is not worth it to have either an enemy out there or a client that's eating 10 hours of your time. People like that, when you get an individual that's going to eat huge amounts of your time like that, you're going to see it you won't see it. Usually they don't start up 6 months down the road after they became a client. Usually they go ahead and start doing this stuff right away after you sell the person. Right after they're sold, they start hammering you. So what you can do is, right at that point, throw the sale away. Most cases, unless this is a huge deal and it's worth it to try to resolve the situation, I will almost always tell folks it's not worth it. You can't change how people are. You can't change their behavior. You can try to put up barriers. Now, one thing you can do in the sales process is manage expectations properly. If expectations are not managed, if support channels are not clearly defined, meaning you're supposed to email, not call, explaining it to them. If they're not clearly defined, and if the development process isn't clearly explicated, and you haven't clearly defined what is going to go on, you can create or at least exacerbate or aggravate the situation with your time leeches. Okay? You can make it so that they feel much more entitled to spend your time as they see fit, for usually very little money. Now, the other side of this whole coin of time waste, shifting focus here from time leeches and looking at shoppers when it comes to the sales process, shoppers in the sales process can eat a huge amount of your time. And what I usually tell people is that, number one, you can't always tell somebody's shopping, right? There's no crystal ball. You don't know. You get you get in a demo with somebody, you pitch them at the end, they're asking a lot of, questions. You don't know why they're asking those questions. You don't know why, you don't get a sense. But what I will tell folks is that if you spend the time to qualify somebody and you're honest with, and they're honest with you, and you talk to them about, are they looking to do something now? Or, you ask the kind of common questions you ask. Most people will be honest with you, and they'll tell you, yeah, we're looking around. We're looking at different options. We're checking out other companies. And that's perfectly fine. That is not what I'm talking about when I talk about shoppers. I'm talking about the people that, when you qualify them for that, are basically, they already have their mind made up. And it's hard to find those people, but it is easy to see the pattern of those people. Okay, it's not always so easy to get them to admit, oh, I'm going with company A, but I'm going to use you as a reference to knock the price down, because they'll do stuff like that. So a lot of people will go get a quote from 5 different companies and spend, X amount of hours of each company's time, to using lever one against the other. They're trying to fight the price down. One of the ways, though, you can spot the pattern is when you come to those people and you say, what's your budget, right? You just flat out ask, do you have a budget for this? What would be an acceptable figure for me to come back with? When they come back, when they laugh and say as low as possible, right? When they say, $100, something really ridiculous, it's a sign they're probably shopping, okay? And I'm not saying people who are trying to save money don't, shop or don't, everybody wants to save money, right? That's fine. But with shoppers, these are people who are desperately trying to save every penny. They glaze over when you talk about quality and features and get excited when it comes to price. They're looking for the best deal, usually. And when you're dealing with shoppers, you'll notice they want to book call after call after call. Things drag on. It's how you can spot the pattern, okay? It's like 3-4 meetings, calls, usually with a client. You have your first one where you contact, your prospect. You have the first one where you contact them. You have the second one where, you pitch them. You have the third one where you close them. And then you have the fourth one where you go live and you explain development process. You begin development. And then maybe you have a 5th meeting at the end, which is your go live date, where you end everything, you wrap it up. With these people, you'll have 5 meetings before you've even gotten to, the closing stage. And what you need to do is you need to cut them loose. I will typically cut them loose by giving them a very high figure, just give them a quote and say, here it is. This is what we cost. Not saying dishonest figure. I'll give them the honest truth. Say, here it is. Give me a call when you're interested. Not booking all this time for somebody who isn't going to buy. They may buy for me in the end, right? They might. But in that process, they're going to eat a huge amount of my time. And looking at it over the broad statistics, right, the odds are I'm not going to get a sale here. I'm going to spend, most of my time on calls talking and fighting down a price as they've talked to the company over there and the company over there and the company over there. But it's important to understand what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about prospects who are looking to save money. And I'm not talking about prospects who are maybe institutional and very careful or cautious. I'm talking about your prospects that are purely price shopping and hitting as many vendors as they can to try to get that price down as far as possible. And in that process, looking to waste a lot of time. Okay. All these things, whether it's time leeches or it's people who are, going to spend a huge amount of your time shopping around, they're really the most destructive force because, look, you can have a bad demo. People can curse you out. People can call you names, get angry at you. All kinds of things are destructive or toxic that you're going to encounter in business. But these are the kinds of things that are just catastrophically destructive when you look at, on balance, what exactly is going on over a long period of time in a business, because time you can't get back. You can't recuperate from the loss of it. Anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. If you liked it, hit that like button below, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to learn more about Rocket Driver, go to rocketdriver.com. I'll see you in the next vid.